feel like this is something that the taxpayers need to know about. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point.
Richland County is in the hot seat for its jail. The allegations: detainees sexually assaulted, others killed. Now, as the Department of Justice investigates, Richland County is paying outside attorneys hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Where that money is coming from and exactly what those attorneys are doing, county officials won't say. And they've dodged our investigative reporter, Cynthia Beasley.
The county has nothing to hide. That's a quote from Richland County Attorney Patrick Wright.
I just wanted to know why you're doing that independent investigation.
Now he won't answer our questions.
Because right now it's all redacted. We can't see if it's helping the DOJ, like you said, or blocking the DOJ.
Richland County Council members you elected also refusing to answer questions about how the county is spending your tax dollars.
No, I'm not going on the record, but you know that the Evanston Detention Center right now, it's going through litigation.
Yes.
As council members, we do not comment on pending litigation.
I understand that. This is an independent investigation, and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that council never voted on.
Wow.
Our questions relate to a decision made 10 months ago.
2 county jails in South Carolina are now under investigation.
Those include stabbings, inmate deaths, sexual assaults, and even escapes.
On November 2nd, the Department of Justice launched civil rights investigations into the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center and the Sheriff Al Cannon Detention Center in Charleston.
Federal prosecutors made that announcement today, saying that people confined in local jails don't lose their constitutional rights at the jailhouse door.
The DOJ cited credible allegations the jail is structurally unsafe and there have been sexual assaults and homicides inside. Wright said they welcome the investigation.
I also told them that we would fully cooperate, and we have no reason not to.
A week later, documents show Wright hired 2 law firms. In a statement, he said the firms would do an internal investigation into the jail and give the DOJ information to help with its investigation. Officials with Charleston County, on the other hand, say they did not hire outside lawyers.
I requested records to learn more about the law firm's relationship with the county, and much of those records Richland County won't show us. What we can see is your tax dollars are paying legal bills of up to $475 an hour, and there are pages of those bills adding up to about $392,000 in just 5 months. And that 5-month span was 5 months ago, so that total is likely much higher now. And as for what those attorneys are doing, we can't see. The county even redacted the reason for hiring those law firms.
There's no reason that they can't disclose the nature of the representation.
Chris Kinney is a local attorney who handles cases involving public information laws.
If Richland County is cooperating fully with the department's investigation, they shouldn't need hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawyer time.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars that county council never voted on.
The county attorney does not have the authority to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars without any oversight by the people's elected officials.
Richland County Code says council must approve services that cost more than $30,000.
The county attorney works for county council, so the buck stops with the elected officials. They should be the ones demanding a vote to approve this expenditure.
I asked a county spokesperson at least 5 times for an interview with the county administrator and attorney. After a month of asking, that spokesperson denied our request. So we tried to speak to them at a public meeting.
Mr. Wright, is there anything you want to add? I mean, because again, we're just wondering, is it not
investigation, so I'm not going to talk about.
I know, but is it not violating my question
We're
is
not violating anything, I can say that.
But isn't the code that if it's more than $30,000 it has to be approved by council?
I'm not under administration. That's administration.
But don't you still have to follow county code?
But that's not administration. This is a legal matter.
Okay, there's nothing else you want to say to taxpayers about it?
While trying to get answers from council members, I was met with this.
It's under litigation right now. They know it. We told the media that countless times, and the issue is we're trying to do an ambushing.
No, Councilman Walker, I've called and left messages for all of you.
Richland County Councilman Don Weaver is the only council member who would answer my questions about this. He says council members did talk to County Administrator Leonardo Brown and County Attorney Patrick Wright about hiring these firms, but it was behind closed doors.
We met in executive session and discussed the need to bring in some outside experts to help the county and to help us determine ourselves where the liabilities were and how we could improve.
Was that a decision that was made that day? Like, did council say, yes, go and do this?
Yeah, we indicated to the attorney that we were in support of him spending extra funds to get that done.
Freedom of Information law says council can't take votes in executive session. They can't even poll members back there. All votes must be made in public. 2 days before Wright hired the law firms, County Council did go into executive session to talk about the jail and other matters. But when they came out,
No action was taken, but instead we received legal advice.
You all made this decision behind closed doors without
No, we didn't make the decision. We just heard an update from legal that he needed to, there was no votes taken. It wasn't something that we said, you know, all in favor, raise your hand. It's something that he was giving council an update. Hey, I may have to hire this outside firm if necessary.
But council did say, yes, you can do that.
We didn't say no.
Did you say, yes, you can do that?
Generally, when you get back there, you voice opinions pro and con. If he had heard from the will of council that they weren't in favor of that, he probably would have declined it. But I don't think anyone spoke out against it.
County Attorney Patrick Wright says council didn't have to vote on this, saying he can hire outside counsel as he deems fit. I asked a spokesperson 5 times to send me the section of county code that allows that. She said she doesn't have that information. I also asked the DOJ if these firms are helping them in their investigation. A spokesperson just said the firms have been representing the county during this DOJ investigation.
All right, Cynthia. So what happens next in all of this?
Well, Councilman Weaver says he would consider making a motion to vote on the amount of money they're spending. That way this is being publicly discussed, and council does have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. So we'll, of course, keep an eye on that.
Absolutely, Cynthia. Thank you so much for your thorough reporting. Now, Wright actually sent us a statement that didn't answer any of our questions, but you can read his full statement on our website, WISTV.com.
WIS Investigates found that the county is racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees as the Department of Justice investigates the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center.
That response comes after the county denied my several interview requests and officials dodged me at a public meeting.
It's hundreds of thousands of dollars that council never voted on.
Wow. Mr. Walker just came out and got me and asked me to have y'all leave, so.
It's a council meeting that's ending. It's a public building.
When Richland County hired the 2 law firms, the county attorney said that the firms would do an internal investigation into the jail. He also said that the firms would assist the Department of Justice in its investigation. But when Cynthia got official documents, the reason why the county hired the firms was redacted.
Now, the county's latest statement doesn't clarify what these attorneys are doing or answer any of the questions that I've been asking them for weeks. And one attorney I talked to with the South Carolina Press Association says part of what the county sent in that statement is nonsense.
I feel like this is something that the taxpayers need to know about. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point.
One of the questions we can't get an answer to, where in the budget is this money coming from? The statement doesn't specifically say whether or not this money is coming from County Attorney Patrick Wright's budget. It just says the county attorney can use money in the budget to hire outside counsel. Through public records, I found these 2 law firms have billed the county almost $400,000 from November 2023 through April 2024. That time span was 5 months ago, so that number could be much higher now. And for fiscal year 2023, the county attorney's budget was about $1.2 million. In 2024, they budgeted $1.6. County Councilman Don Weaver, who was the only council member who would talk to us, says while council never voted to hire these attorneys, they did talk about it behind closed doors. The Freedom of Information Act says elected officials can't vote in executive session or even poll members about a course of action. The county now says in this recent statement that Councilman Weaver can't even speak about what happens during those closed-door meetings. Jay Bender, an attorney for the South Carolina Press Association, says that statement is nonsense.
The council member can come out and discuss anything that was discussed in executive session. It does not provide a gag order on the participants. And I think the press release by the county is an effort to intimidate Weaver and other council members to keep them from disclosing what was discussed in executive session.
Richland County Code says council must approve services that cost more than $30,000. In this case, there was no public vote. In the statement, without citing specifics, the county says under the state procurement code, Wright doesn't need council approval to hire outside counsel. I reached out to the State Fiscal Accountability Authority to ask them about this. They say the state procurement code does not govern a county, so it's the responsibility of counties to adopt its own code and follow it.
Now, Councilman Weaver says he would consider making a motion to vote on the amount of money that they're spending in this situation, so this can all be discussed publicly. You can watch the full investigation on our website. Just go to the WIS Investigates tab.
The amount of money that Richland County is spending on attorneys in relation to the county's jail continues to go up.
Where that money is coming from and exactly what those attorneys are doing, county officials won't say, and I've been trying to get answers for more than 2 months.
And it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that council never voted on.
Wow.
I feel like this is something that the taxpayers need to know about. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point.
And tonight, I have new documents that show more costs to taxpayers. 2 law firms have billed the county more than $641,000 from November through July. Richland County hired Weich and Maynard Nexen law firms in November after the Department of Justice launched investigations into the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center and the Sheriff Al Cannon Detention Center in Charleston. Officials with Charleston County say they did not hire outside lawyers. After hiring those attorneys, Richland County Attorney Patrick Wright told the public they would be doing an independent investigation into the jail, or internal investigation rather, and help the DOJ with its investigation. On the official agreement between the law firms and the county blacked out the reason for hiring the firms. A local attorney who handles cases involving public information laws says that information should be public.
There's no reason that they can't disclose the nature of the representation. If Richland County is cooperating fully with the department's investigation, they shouldn't need hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawyer time.
On that document, the county also redacted the description of the work the attorneys are doing. I asked the DOJ if these firms are helping them in their investigation. A spokesperson would only say the firms have been representing the county during the DOJ investigation. Richland County officials won't say where in the budget the money's coming from, and council never voted to approve this, so the cost was never publicly discussed. Richland County Code says council must approve services that cost more than $30,000, but the county attorney says he has the power to hire outside attorneys without council approval. I again asked the county spokesperson for an interview with the administrator or attorney. They have not gotten back to me.
And Cynthia, those documents that you have show just how much the law firms have billed up to the end of July. So really, that number could be higher now.
It could, and because there's no end date on the agreement with those law firms. Now, I requested these new records back in August. South Carolina Freedom of Information law gives agencies up to 40 business days to respond and fulfill records requests, so we didn't get those records until last week.
Yeah, we know that you'll certainly follow up on it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that report.